Well, hello, everybody. Happy day before Halloween and a happy Thursday night football to all the Ravens and Dolphins fans as they play tonight. Uh, that's probably going to be a shitty game, in my opinion, but,
Yeah, seriously.
we'll see. We'll see how they're doing. And joining me is our friend of the show, Mr. Nerd Takes. How you doing, Jay?
Hello. I'm doing well. Appreciate you having me back.
Yes. I'm happy to see you on. Happy to get you back on. It's definitely been a while since you've been on the show, and
hmm
this is probably the first time I think, this is the first time that you're going to actually experience Legacy Loading episode.
Yeah. I want to say the last time I was on might have been like the Game Awards episode we did. And this is my first Legacy load, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, a full disclosure for everyone: we're covering the Splinter Cell series tonight, and I have never played a single game of the Splinter Cell series at all.
So, are you not at all like a stealth game kind of person, or is this one just pass you by?
I want to say that generally speaking, I am very loud and proud, as they would say in the when how I play. I think it was Bad Company
hmm
when they were like we're going to stealth and then they just throw grenades in and blow everything up.
Right.
That's kind of what I am usually.
Fair enough. Well, I know it can be, or I feel like at least it can be kind of a polarizing game style. Maybe that's a little too strong, but I feel like some people either love stealth games or just absolutely just despise them.
Yeah, I don't have necessarily an issue with stealth games, as you probably know. I'm kind of an eclectic gamer, so I'll play
Mhm.
anything. But I think for me, just during the time when these games came out, you and I are not that much different in age.
No,
So,
not at all.
so this was just like one of those games where it's like you go to the video store and you had to choose which one is it going to be for you. You know what I mean? I think. Sorry, finish your point. I'll.
No. I was just gonna say it's interesting for me because this game, I really can't even remember how. I want to say it was my brother that kind of talked me into like picking it as the game we were gonna buy. That's like the best memory I can remember of exactly how I fell into this series. Because we had just gotten the Xbox at the time, and we were, there's kind of that process of all right, go to Walmart, pick out your game, like pick out a game, go get it, blah blah blah, that whole thing.
Right.
Somehow we landed on this, and I was, fairly young at the time. I can't remember. I'd have to look exactly the year it came out. I want to say it was like 2002 or three. So, like 10, 11 years old maybe. So I don't know what the hell drew me to this. I want to say it was honestly my brother, the kind of big brother influence.
Yeah.
But the second we put it in the Xbox that night, it was like, holy crap, this game is this game is awesome. And then from there, it was just fell in love with the series.
Now I know for a fact that for me, how I heard about Splinter Cell was always from X Play. Uh,
Mhm.
I remember back in the day, I used to watch X Play all the
Yep.
time, and they gave
Cheat
me.
Cheat was a big one too. Cheat used to do episodes on. I'll never forget. There was a specific episode. What was that guy's name? Corey something or other. He did an episode of Cheat that covered the first game of this, and I was like a kid in a candy store when it came on. I'm like, can you believe they really do? Because at this point, like I thought it was this little hidden game that me and my brother found that I liked, and I see it on G4, and I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world. So they kind of covered it on a few of their shows. They were, I mean, back when, again, I guess we're going to talk about it with this Icons episode, but
Yep.
they were kind of tuned into, what Ubisoft was doing at the time, which, at that point in the early 2000s, they were actually doing a lot of good games.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, it's just Splinter Cell was like always kind of like that game I always heard about, but just never was
Mhm.
able to play.
Mhm.
Like I said, X Play covered it. They had like fun skits on X Play. Do you remember Special Agent Bob and Secret Agent Steve?
I can't remember this. I remember watching X Play a bit because I remember Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, and I remember seeing the shows, but I was much more into some of the other ones. So I don't remember the specific bits and things like that they used to do.
Well, this one bit stuck in my mind because they were like going over like I guess Bill Paxton. They were like arguing if Bill Paxton was in Navy SEALs.
Okay.
And I didn't get the reference as a kid, but I thought it was
Right.
funny because they were just like hack. They like did like the whole skit and they're like doing the little hack, and they're like, "Oh, look at that! Bill Paxton was in Navy SEALs." You know, and then it's just like after that, like the guy gets gunned down in the little co-op thing, and he's like, "Bob, you okay? Navy SEALs?" And he just gets mowed down himself. And I don't know why. It was just funny to me. But like, yeah, I remember like those episodes of Cheat and all that
Mhm,
stuff.
mhm.
Because we were talking a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, or last week, I can't remember. It feels like forever how time works. But Zero was on, and we were talking about like Judgment Day, that two-person review thing, and Tommy Tallarico was one of the hosts, and I was like, I didn't know that.
Oh, isn't that the guy that had that system that never came out or something?
Yeah,
I kind of know a little bit about it. I've never looked too far into it.
yeah. So I thought I was like, man, this is a small world, isn't it? You
No
know.
shit. Hey,
So
everybody's got to start somewhere, I guess.
exactly. So I thought that was interesting and fun. I don't remember if I remember this episode of Icons, but definitely been looking at more of these older G4 shows that definitely looking forward to doing some more in the future. But today's episode, as we said before, is about the Splinter Cell. This is about the original Splinter Cell trilogy. And I believe this episode came out in 2003 or 2004. One of those two when I was looking it up. So this only covers the original Xbox. And if you haven't heard or watched one of these episodes before, these are all old school documentaries made
Mhm.
from the G4 TV days. And this show is called G4 Icons. It went for 4 seasons, and the fourth season was terrible because they stopped really talking about video games and started to get a little wonky.
Was
But this is,
that did that match up with kind of the end of G4 on the
yeah,
network? Yeah.
yeah,
Such a
basically.
shame. That was that like to as a kid, that was like the coolest channel out there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But yeah, so let's get this ball rolling. Share screen. Here it is. Share. I'm going to do it like this so people can see everything.
Hmm.
All right, let's begin.
It took an old brand into a new direction.
When you develop under Tom Clancy franchise, it means that you need to validate and to justify everything.
It introduced the world to a new kind of hero.
Who doesn't want to sneak around in the shadows and still feel like you're a badass? I mean, you don't need to fire a rocket launcher to be able to do that.
Sam Fisher is this over-the-hill, cynical, jaded, middle-aged rogue.
You didn't answer my question.
And made one of the most revolutionary advances ever seen in a multiplayer game.
The multiplayer game is really what made Pandora Tomorrow. It was just a whole new, different kind of multiplayer experience.
They can work together so that one of them could push another one on the enemies to knock them out.
This concept that was really cool. So I unfortunately missed out on the true multiplayer side of Pandora Tomorrow because at the time I was a kid. My parents just didn't set us up with Xbox Live and all that.
Yeah.
Such a new concept and all that. And frankly, as a kid, I didn't even really know that much about it or felt like I needed it because I was kind of doing a lot of solo gaming or playing games with my brother.
Right.
There's some competitive style of multiplayer that I'm totally unfamiliar with. But the co-op stuff, you were able to play, shared split screen at home. So doing those missions was such a cool thing with the second game, alongside of my brother, as I keep mentioning, he was a big fan of these games as well. It was such a cool concept to go from the original game to being able to actually do all, because there was these awesome mechanics of like using each other as ladders and like you just saw the launching each other. It was just the coolest concept. It made the game so much fun, or just added a new fun element to it all.
Yeah, and I would have to say that has to probably be one of the more groundbreaking like mechanics for that time too as well. Because if you look at a lot of stuff now, that wouldn't kind of shock you, but back then, I don't think
Right.
there was any game that was really doing it.
No,
like this.
and that's kind of honestly the beauty of even the first game. Like that, like you obviously had your stealth games, you had Metal Gear and all that. I, funnily enough, was never a big fan of Metal Gear. You would think I was with how much I enjoy stealth games. But when I was younger, I tried playing the first ones, and I just never liked that camera angle with it, the kind of top-down view type of thing that it
Right.
never clicked with me as a kid. I even any game, and I kind of hate to be so harsh. Well, not so harsh, but I was a kid. I didn't really know how to expand my palette. Any game that had like tough control, like just uncomfortable, like Tomb Raider, for example, the tank controls and all that, it always steered me away. So the fact that this game was just 360 camera, free moving, that whole thing just felt so much more comfortable to me. So I immediately fell in love with the game, but then there was just so much more with it. The mechanics, like the lights, the shadows, the interactivity with the objects, all these things, which they'll go over in this show. It really just felt groundbreaking. I think that's what, to me, made me fall in love with the game and generally the franchise just right out of like, I'm not talking, I mean, I'm literally talking the first level was like, holy crap, this is like revolutionary. And yeah, nowadays you look at what we have in gaming, none of this is going to be super, mind blowing. But it's like you said, you got to consider, you got to go back to 2002 when this first game came out and realize that it was fairly revolutionary. Like, I feel somewhat comfortable saying that. I'm not a video game historian, so maybe I'm missing some stuff. But it felt to me as a kid at the time, and to this day, looking back on it, like it was just a revolutionary type of video game, especially for the stealth genre.
I mean, yeah, you could honestly say that like Splinter Cell really helped push a lot of like gaming forward with some of its mechanical, implementations of physics and how like co-op worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still some of the stuff that like you don't even really see utilized even in today, like the throwing of your partner or using them as a ladder. There's like. Ironically enough, the only person that's really, I think, doing a great job with, co-op kind of gameplay mechanics and stuff like that is Josef Fares over at Hazelight Games with all his games that he's been doing, like A Way Out, It Takes Two, and so on.
Fair enough. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I just beat Split Fiction this year with Neo.
Oh, nice. How'd you guys like it?
Oh, right now it's my current game of the year.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was absolutely blown away by just how amazing of a game that is. And there's a lot of good things with it, too, with basically the free game. As long as one person owns the game, you can play with anyone on any system,
Imagine that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Imagine that. That's awesome.
And, like, it's just really good and fun. Like, a lot of, like, A Way Out kind of reminds me of a little bit of like Splinter Cell in some aspects,
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not a 1-for-1 comparison, obviously, but it feels like he got some inspiration from it.
Well, that's the thing. I can totally see what you mean. I've never played it. I'm somewhat familiar with it. I know it's part jailbreak and all that. Two guys, co-op. But I can understand it just even from what I know of the game. And I think, to be honest with you, you look at the Assassin's Creed games, obviously also Ubisoft. Ubisoft. I never know how to pronounce it. I think I say it different every time, but regardless,
they're French. Who gives a shit?
You can just see the influence. I think, at least, and maybe this is my bias for the franchise, but whenever I'm playing stealth games, I mean, even in some of the Batman games, when you're in some of the more stealth missions, like dropping down, and all that, like from your perches to kind of scoop guys up and incapacitate them that way. To me, I get it that obviously that's a very Batman thing, but that's also, as we'll see in this, it's something you were able to do in these games as well, that I wonder, how much influence has always just kind of come from these games when it comes to the stealth mechanics and the things you can do with stealth. I mean, the environmental changes, how you can take out lights and all these things to just change the scenario that you're in to make it benefit if you want to go stealth or if you want to go loud, as they say. It just there's so much cool stuff that was done specifically in these first 3 games too. The later games in the series were a little bit more hit or miss, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But this core trilogy just, I think, to me, defined stealth gaming at the time, revolutionized it. Am I saying the right word there? Yes.
Revolutionary.
It was revolutionary to the stealth genre. And I think to this day, you still see, shades of influence of it everywhere.
Yeah. And I want to, before people say this, no, we are not sponsored by Sprite.
I didn't even catch that.
I just see this chest giant presented by Sprite. No, not sponsored.
If only we were getting Sprite money.
Oh, that'd be great. But I like I said, that's another fun charm with all these old ones is the little commercials that will pop up on these things. All right, let's continue, shall we?
The history of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell.
Man, this is like unlocks a little memory wormhole. This little intro. God,
I know, right?
This. I forgot all about this show.
Every time, man. Every time.
Navy SEALs, Green Berets, Delta Force. These elite military units are the stuff of legend and have inspired countless video games. Some give gamers a taste of the action, but others focus on a different aspect of Special Forces work.
Well, the stealth action game, it's a different kind of game from what we're used to in the fact that killing is not the priority in a stealth action game. You know, it's about not being detected. It's about not creating havoc out of a situation. It's really almost like walking into a place and leaving it as it was, as if you were never there. And I think that really creates a unique type of gameplay.
Now, did you ever play the other games that are shown off here, like Siphon Filter? And this is Metal Gear, obviously.
No, not I again familiar with Siphon Filter, but never really played it. I think I had a demo of it, like on maybe PS1, like when you used to get those demo discs with like
Yeah.
5 or 6 demos on it. But no, never, just never really did it for me. This I can legitimately say this was the game that kind of sparked my love for stealth gaming.
Yeah, I know right now you can buy all the Siphon Filter games on your PlayStation
Hmm.
as part of the backwards compatibility. I bought them, and I'm like curious to sit down and try them one day because I hear good things about them.
Yeah, same. Just again, for me, it's almost like another Metal Gear where I know people love him. I know I've always heard good things. It's just never, even to this day, now that I have a love of stealth gaming, I've just never quite got the urge to go back and try them again. I don't know why. I'd like to kind of fight through that and almost kind of, it's almost like when you're trying a new food and you're like, I really don't think I'm going to like it, but you force yourself to take that first bite and you end up really liking it. I'm hoping I can get to that point, and that's the case one day, but I just have not gotten there yet.
Yeah, I know as a physical collector, there is one Siphon Filter game that I kind of want for my collection because it was like it's a very rare one. So Siphon Filter 3 had the unfortunate timing to release around the time of 9/11.
Oh, okay.
So there is one variant that looks like the Twin Towers are burning on there.
Gotcha.
So they pulled it really quickly, and that one is like a very
Fair enough.
expensive one. Yeah. But a little Siphon Filter lore in your
Yeah.
Splinter Cell thing.
Early pioneers in the stealth action genre set a high standard.
When you talk about stealth, it's very hard to leave out the original Metal Gear. There was the hiding behind the walls and not being detected. But I think the latter generation games on the
These were the
PlayStation,
Metal Gears
Metal
I
Gear
just
Solid,
couldn't get into.
Yeah. I hear so much good things about them. I'm trying to actually find someone to do a Metal Gear episode. I only played really 2 and 4. I'm kind of have like sparse in. I really fucking hated 4. That game put me to sleep.
Trying to think which when did 4 come out?
That was a PS3 game. So
Okay, that's what I thought, because I'm pretty sure I also tried a demo of that one and I did not like it whatsoever. I could be wrong. I'd have to literally go back and see what the first level was. But there was one that was around the PS3 era that I gave a shot again, because I'm like, all right, let me give Metal Gear a try now that it's kind of come to, at this point, it was 2 gens later, because I believe this was PS1 that we're looking at now. So, or maybe it was PS2, I can't remember, but
Yeah.
it was either 1 or 2 gens later from these games that I couldn't get into. So I tried it again, and just, it was another fail for me. I just couldn't get my teeth to really sink into these games.
No, I understand.
really picked up on the idea of, you know, hiding behind things, and especially with a 3D landscape. That created a whole new style of gameplay that really has taken off in this industry.
Well, and I will say, to that point, for the record, as a bigger fan of Splinter Cell than Metal Gear, obviously, I do very much appreciate that, you know, these games had to happen for Splinter Cell to even exist. Like, you know, these paved the way for it. And I get it, and I respect them for that. So if you're a Metal Gear fan and you think I'm talking crazy for the fact that I don't like them, I understand it. I want to disclosure say I do respect them. I do appreciate them. They just weren't for me.
Yeah, well, it's like there's also people who don't like Metal Gear and they liked Thief. With Thief is like kind of like the pinnacle of stealth games for some people out there too. Except for the new one, they said that one's garbage. But I've not played any the Thief games either, so I couldn't tell you anything about that. I missed out on that IDOS era a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
This exciting new genre. Best-selling author Tom Clancy lends his name to a line of realistic video games.
People are really enthusiastic, certainly.
I got a question before they go on. Are you a fan of other Tom Clancy games? Do you like his books?
So I've never read his books. Trying to think. You know, Rainbow Six games were fun. Was a big fan of Rainbow Six Vegas. I mean, my buddies used to play that back in the day. Outside of Rainbow Six, I can't say I did too many others. I'd have to honestly look at a list of them just to know, because There kind of was like when we were growing up, that era was just kind of loaded with war games. So I kind of honestly, some of them just blur together to me. So I could have played more, not even realize they were Tom Clancy.
Yeah, it's like so. It's like Rainbow Six Vegas. I know that's like a really popular
Yep, that
one.
was a good one.
Yeah, I think I played a little bit of those games with my friends, but I was a Halo guy, so I
Right,
wasn't
gotcha.
able to adjust properly to those games.
Fair enough. Now, this to me was my true Tom Clancy experience was the Splinter Cell games.
Right on.
When Clancy announced a title, well, only because his properties are so strong. He's probably the most popular fiction writer, certainly among men, easily, that there is. And the thought of those properties and those characters, Jack Ryan, etc., being translated to computer was very exciting.
Old school PC right there.
It's only a matter of time before Ubisoft decides to blend stealth action with the Clancy brand. The title of this new game is Tom Clancy Splinter Cell.
We wanted to make a stealth game where we can have a closer connection with the environment. So the base of the concept was to being able to play with lights.
Vividly remember this game. I want
modify-
to say I played and rebeat the most of the main trilogy, the first one. It was, I want to say, was this the longest wait between games? There was a 1-year gap between games. I just can't remember if that was between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. It might have been between 2 and 3. So this one I played the most because it was just kind of a bit of a wait. So it was just like beat it, rebeat it again, try it a different way. It was, man, this just seeing these scenes and that opening little cinematic is bringing back just so much nostalgia.
Yeah, on top of that too is like a lot of people forget like back in the day, video games were like cranked out like faster than you remember, you know? Like nowadays, like you think about it, it's like, you know, it took what damn near like 10 years for some video games to get a sequel, like Psychonauts 2, Space Marine 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, you know, we were just like,
well, and they used to do more kind of swapping of studios within the overall publisher, because I believe Pandora Tomorrow is a different studio. It's not the same. I want to say whichever Ubisoft, I can't remember if it was Montreal. I forget where their studios were, but they had one studio that did 1 and 3, and then a different one did 2. Pandora Tomorrow, smack dab in the middle.
yeah.
So it's kind of that ability to, you know, oh, they're going to take the reins for a little bit, and while they're working on 2, we can start working on 3. So they kind of cranked out like bang bang 2 back-to-back years for 2 of them.
Yeah, and you know another thing too is one of the things that we kind of see online sometimes is people getting upset about like reused assets or trying to cut down on dev time and stuff. And it's just like I don't think you guys remember just, you know, how not super different a lot of these games were.
Yeah.
It's just they were like more refined and they got more time. The funny part is like a lot of these games basically got the same dev cycle as like some AAA games get to do one game where like they pumped out 3 or 4 games, you know?
Right, literally.
It's crazy to think about it.
Which is one of the reasons actually I love this game, because they did manage to always make the games feel so different from one another, whether it was mechanical upgrades, environmental upgrades, the whole deal. You know, the jumps from 1 to 2 was big. And then that one, even though it was only a year later, the jump from 2 to 3 was also big with a lot of the stuff that they added, specifically mechanic wise, but also environment, the way you would see, you know, things kind of affect the ways your shadows and lights, where it was, again, just to me, what makes this franchise or the core trilogy of this franchise. I got to keep coming to that because the later games really kind of let you down a bit. But this core trilogy, they really like just kept pushing the envelope.
Your own environment so you can have a better shadow path to go through the areas and achieve your goals.
We chose to work with the Unreal Engine because it offered the power and the flexibility we need. Everything in the game world casts a shadow. This means that the player could interact with light and shadow like never before.
I love his French accent.
Yeah, it's thick.
It's a good
thick.
one.
2 C's thick.
I did not see the problem with the Sam Fisher going through the shadows. That's so fun to think about. There's a bunch of French people made these games about an American hero.
Never knew it. Never knew it. I mean, not that it really makes a difference anyways, but I just never knew, like as a kid, I never knew Ubisoft was a French company. I had absolutely no idea. And the games feel really like American, to be honest with you, in terms of the shadow ops and the kind of stuff that they're taking on in terms of the missions and the overall kind of arcing story and the bad guys in it, and the kind of I try to make sure I don't use YouTube unfriendly words, but you get the idea. Early 2000s and stuff going on then. So like the whole kind of thing was like felt very like based in like badass American special forces. Like, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I know. They were getting boycotted, and we were calling them freedom fries.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the freedom fries era.
I just remember that because I remember I went to like a restaurant in like the boonies here out in Illinois, and I was like, I want some French fries, and so it was like the freedom fries. Now I was like, I don't give a shit. I just want French fries.
Yeah, give me those fried potatoes, dude. I don't really give a shit what you call them.
Yeah, exactly.
They can use shadow to hide in. They could also detect enemies by seeing only the shadow. We add some visual touches like the soft physics system, which use what we call soft body. Soft body are anything in the environment that isn't solid, like curtains and flags.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm struggling a little bit to understand him here.
I
know what he was saying because I know the game, but that was thick. That's a tough accent.
I think he was implying that there are chateaus and you hide in them.
Basically.
And I will say, like, even for like this old footage, like this stuff is beautiful still looking. All the lighting effects and everything like that. Like I know these games are on Xbox, like the Series X and S. I wonder how these games will look right now. Like if I would crank one on and just get like the auto HDR and stuff on them too. I'm curious to go back and look at that one day, maybe when I get a little bit of time, because I did buy them recently. I know they go on sale quite often.
Dude, I seriously, when you get the time, I can't stress enough or recommend enough. You gotta try these games.
I know you and Neo, like Neo.
Well, yeah, Neo's my other Splinter Cell buddy. He's a big fan as well. We always say Sam Fisher better than Snake, so he'll be trying to get you to play him too for sure.
Yeah, who is it? Like Snake's voice actor is like David Hayter, right?
I don't know who does Snake, to be honest with you. And in fairness, I do think he does a fantastic job, but nothing beats Michael Ironside as Sam Fisher. It is just iconic.
Yeah, I heard he's doing better too from his cancer treatment. So hopefully,
good.
Hopefully, he could get one more role in it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, hopefully they make another game too, because I think the last one was like 2013. We haven't heard anything from Splinter Cell outside of a not so great Netflix animated series I just started actually last week.
Oh no.
Yeah, not great, but yeah. So hopefully we get something from Splinter Cell soon.
All right, let's continue.
Things that made people excited about the Splinter Cell series was that it really highlighted the details of a stealth element. And it tells you how hidden you are in the shadow and whether you're partly in the light or in the shadow, and definitely the thermal goggles and the night vision.
The idea was to make a fully interactive environment. Make it possible to shoot a computer, take a soda can, and show it to distracting enemies. But much more importantly, to shoot out lights. Shooting lights allow for a different gameplay experience depending on basically how you play.
Ubisoft knows they'll need more than some pretty lighting to win over gamers, so they set out to create a lead character that will hold his own against the competition.
Hi there.
You know what I love about these old documentaries is that every time I watch one of them, it's always kind of like the same thing. How do we get gamers to like something? How do we get the most amount of people to come and go over and purchase our product? Like we have like other shows I've done before, like on Onimusha and on Pac-Man, and they were like, well, we're trying to like make the main protagonist look hot so we can bring in the women to buy our games, or we are trying to make a fun, quick and easy game to play that everyone will play, so we could get like the businessman on his lunch break, the hardcore nerd, and like the girls that are just looking to like waste some time before they do something.
Well, and it's such a refreshing kind of narrative to hear versus like, I mean, not to be the guy who just always complains about modern gaming, but I do think one of the issues or current big issues with modern gaming is the fact that it feels like the conversation is always, instead of how can we get more players in, or how can we get this to be more attractive or interesting to other players, to get them to other people, to get them to become gamers or become players of this game if they already are gamers. Now it feels like it's always, how can we just get more money in these battle passes and live services and skins and what's coming to Fortnite next, and is it going to be Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles or what? Like, I do appreciate kind of hearing this different kind of passion for gaming, where it's like, how can we get more people into the hobby or interested in these things if they're already in the hobby?
I know.
How
I
can we
know.
get money out of them?
I know. It feels so always like hard to talk about it because it's like you look at like all the things that these businesses do, and then you go like, man, we are just dinosaurs a little bit some days.
Yeah, certainly feels that way.
You know, it's hard because it's like, man, I don't get me wrong. I love the hobby. I love everything about gaming. And then you just look at every time when you go to the engagement charts that pop up every month. What do you see? Fortnite,
Right.
Call of Duty, Minecraft, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Minecraft,
Mhm.
like insert sports game that just came out. You know,
Which is
it's
just a copy of the one that came out last year. Yeah, no, I
yeah,
got you.
it's like it's so gutting to look at it, and then it's just like, man, I love games like Splinter Cell or something like that. I think I was listening to actually Colin Moriarty bring this up, but he brought up a point. And he's like, the entirety of the Silent Hill franchise has sold 10 million copies.
Really?
Yes. Now, this is like a little thing. I'm going to talk about this on Saturday too,
Mhm.
but all the Pokemon games combined, just that on the Switch, that only launched on the Switch, by the way,
Mhm.
sold 111 million copies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't the most recent one just do like 5 point something in
Five,
like the first week?
5.8. Yeah, 5.8 million.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I brought
I would
this
have
up
thought
too.
more for Silent Hill. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, but I put this into perspective, right? So like Pokemon is the number one IP in the world. So there's a caveat there. I will say that.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
There
enough.
it's a little bit different. But to put that in perspective, how much of a juggernaut that is. Sony's best-selling franchise of all time is Gran Turismo. And
Really? Wow. I
yes.
wouldn't have thought that.
Yes. No, it was like dominant, especially during the PS2 generation.
Huh.
And
I was never a big fan of the Turismo game, so I guess probably just like a biased, surprising thing
yeah,
for me.
yeah, I know, but like I know it has a huge player base, but
Fair enough.
recently, like the last state of play, they had on the lead director of the studio, Polygamy Studios, and he said we are announcing today that in the lifetime, so from PS1 all the way now to PS5, Gran Turismo has sold 100 million units.
Wow.
So Pokemon for just the Switch sold more
Yeah, that is crazy, huh?
that Gran Turismo did in 5 console generations. That's
Crazy.
it's astronomical. Just like when we talk about like all these things about like what is popular, what's successful, and what sells well. It's like, well, you know, Pokemon is just a different thing, man. It is just a
Yeah, I mean,
different breed.
it's a whole different beast. It's like trying to compare. I honestly, I don't even know. It's hard to compare it to anything. It's like trying to compare Taylor Swift album sales to like some niche band that you like that's really,
Right.
really great. It's like it's hard to do. You know, popularity doesn't always mean quality. And not to say anything, I'm not going against Pokemon or anything. I'm a Pokemon fan myself, and I enjoy the games.
Yeah.
But you know, like it's that example of like, yeah, popularity doesn't always mean quality. You might find more passion in a smaller game or something like that, but it's just hard to reach those juggernaut numbers. That's space saved for very few things in life.
Yeah, it's I think people just sometimes forget that even though like a million people like something, there's like 10 billion people on this planet.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds good. Like it sounds huge, but to put it in perspective, like what's 1 million versus 8 billion, you know?
You know, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's continue.
Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell is set to take stealth gaming to the next level.
I love this mission.
And at the center
on
of
the
it
oil
all
rig.
is a government faction called the Third Echelon, and their key operative,
Sam Fisher. Hello, Colonel.
He's a rough and tumble guy, but he's got a sense of patriotism. And that's what makes him a real strong character. He's fighting for the country, and he's part of the secret Third Echelon organization, a subdivision of the NSA.
Are we working with the CIA's cooperation? Through me, you're attached to a dozen of the best NSA minds we have.
And this is kind of exactly what I meant by how the game feels. It feels very like just like America, like weirdly enough for it being a Ubisoft or a French-based game. But yeah, that kind of just actually perfectly put it into words how it does feel when you're playing these games for sure.
Ironically, like an American James Bond.
Almost like, in a way, yes, but just, and I think this is what kind of makes him, because like I used to actually really enjoy the James Bond games as well, but it just feels more shadow ops. You know what I mean? More like in the shadows, kind of like you said in the beginning. It's like you're never there. Like James Bond, there's the Flash, there's the suits, there's the cars, there's the Bond girls, there's all that.
Yeah.
This just felt so much more gritty. Just like it's spy espionage type stuff, but it's actually like even more just shadow ops. Like the stuff you hear about, like guy goes in, does what he needs to, nobody ever knew he was there type of thing. Like it just has that really gritty, badass feel to it. It was a very different feel from kind of some of the James Bond games to that point.
Yeah, but I feel like what we think about like James Bond is like the British gentleman, you know what I mean? Where he's got like that like romanticized like British swagger of like
right, the charm and all that.
Yeah, versus like, you know, with Sam Fisher, he feels like that American blue collar.
Yeah, it's like that American answer to James Bond type of thing. For sure.
That's what I mean by that. It's not so much like I don't think Sam Fisher is going out there fighting pussy galore or anything like that, you know.
My TV's shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, he seems
no, that's a good way to put it. It is kind of like America's answer to the James Bond character in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Let's continue.
You didn't answer my question.
Who doesn't want to sneak around in the shadows and still feel like you're a badass? I mean, you don't need to fire a rocket launcher to be able to do that. Of course, if you can, that's great. But just the range of abilities and the range of movement and the skill sets that have been set up for that character have really helped make him an icon of the current sort of stealth gaming vogue.
I really have a lot of respect.
Diablo checking in over here on Twitch says, this is easy. Just kill everyone. No one will notice. If there's no one to notice.
Well, I mean, in a lot of the levels. So some of the way the levels were set up would be like you're weapons free. You're not weapons free. You can knock people out. You can't go lethal like that, or you can go lethal. You can't go lethal type of thing. So in some cases, yeah, you could legitimately do that if you wanted to. Just not every level, but
you could stack up a body pile if you want.
Right, and that kind of added again to the fun and the challenge of the game. Was like there was just, you know, a million ways to fry an egg type of thing, but they would also kind of give you your restrictions at times to make sure you're challenging yourself, not so much to be kind of like dicks and be like, oh no, we want you to do it this way. It was more just so like, if you were somebody who typically goes loud and goes lethal when you play these games, let's change it up on you a little bit. Let's test your skills. Let's see if you can do the stealth thing. Or if you're somebody who leans more stealth, let's see how you do going a little bit loud. Like it was kind of a really fun way that they always just kind of balanced out the levels of the gameplay throughout each of the series, or each of the games of the series.
Yeah, exactly. It is fun when you have like, you know, a game that actually throws a curveball to you, and it's not like an annoying escort mission.
Right.
I fucking hate escort missions.
Oh god, the worst.
They're the fucking worst. The only game that did a good escort mission was God of War.
I've never played them, so I can't even speak to it.
Oh,
it's a shame that I haven't. I've had a PlayStation since PS4, and I still haven't gotten around to playing them. They've been in my backlog for years now.
Oh man, you got to play the original trilogy at least.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to play the most, because I get actually, speaking of G4, those were plastered all over G4 at the time, so they always piqued my interest. And I love Greek mythology. I absolutely adore it. It's kind of what led to my love of like superheroes and all that. So the fact that I still haven't played it to this day makes me feel a little bit shameful. I need to get around to playing those.
I will say one of my favorite X-Play sketches was like when they were trying to get Kratos a job after God of War.
That sounds vaguely familiar. I have to look that up. I bet you I've seen that before, because that sounds really familiar.
It was like
they loved those games at this time.
Oh, it was so funny. It was like Kratos is like basically their intern. so they're like, he's like, fuck. I've ran out of things to kill. I killed the god of sock puppets. I've killed the god of knitting. I killed the god of Canada. You know, and he's just like fighting some like just like French Canadian dude. Then they got like they just make him the intern, and like that's what inspired one of my names for a bit was Intern of War, was from that X-Play sketch.
Yeah,
because
that's
what it was. And on top of that too, there I think it was for like when they did the Game Awards. Like they even brought out the Kratos skit there too. Like they had like Oprah Winfrey skit, and he's like, "I killed them all except for the goddess of daytime talking." So it's like Kratos murders Oprah Winfrey, and then he kills Pong to show that like Pong sucks now.
Yeah.
Like,
This all is like ringing a bell. I'd have to go back and watch these because this all sounds very familiar from back in the day.
yeah, like I said, those are like memories that I remember. Like when like even YouTubers now, like they don't have like the fun sometimes like they used to have on like making these like things. Like they're not having these fun skits or something, you know?
It was, I mean, and I think that's what was so, not to go on a G4 tangent here, but I think that was what was so great about G4 was that it just felt like authentic nerds having fun with some stuff that they're passionate about. Like it was it didn't feel overproduced. It felt, the game, obviously these shows were, well produced. It was network television and all that, but it had this authentic, genuine feel that like these guys are actually nerds and gamers. And they were like, I remember like I used to look up to some of these guys. I was an 11-year-old kid at the time thinking, man, oh my God, I would love to be a G4 TV host of Cheat one day or whatever the hell it was. Like it was such a cool time when that channel was bumping in the early 2000s.
No, yeah, I know. I know next year for sure. I want to sit down and do like episode reviews and just like watch an old episode and of like nostalgia on some of them, especially like Attack of the Show. That'd be fun to sit down and watch a whole episode
Attack
of
of the
that.
Show.
Just like find like early, middle, and like when it was getting close to the end. See how much the show changed during those times, you know?
For sure.
Okay, let's continue.
What they've done with Sam Fisher as a character. Your average character is a bulging biceps, quip throwing Arnold Schwarzenegger retread, and they're just not interesting. Whereas Sam Fisher is this over the hill, cynical, jaded.
That was from 2003. That you had a game journalist say that too. By the way,
I mean, and it is a fair point. Honestly, it's one that I never realized, but that is kind of something that felt unique to Sam at the time. Was because he's not a young character either. He's an older guy. He's always got the gray in his hair. He's got an older. I think he's got a daughter in the series. I want to say she was always like late teens to early 20s. Like he was a guy who had lived life, and I think that's what always made him feel like such a cool, badass, just gritty character. Was like, oh yeah, this guy's seen some shit. He's been through some shit. He's seen it, and now you get to play as him type of thing. So he immediately clicked as just this awesome character.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that. Your part, sorry, fish part.
No, I was just gonna say, and then I mean, you add the voice of Michael Ironside, and it just was like peanut butter and jelly, man. It just went together.
Yeah, and on top of that too, Michael Ironside isn't a like just fresh and up and coming voice actor too. He was a seasoned actor by that point too. He was around since the 70s, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
and with his age, I believe at the time he would have been older. I think probably even older in real life than Sam Fisher was. But that kind of just lived experience that's in his voice, that just gravelly kind of deep voice that he has, man, it just matched this character so well.
Yeah, it was during a time when they were really getting a lot of good like voice actors that weren't like known for voice acting. You know, I always say,
I mean, look at Vice City for example. Oh my God, the people who voice acted in that game, it's a long list of just like, wow, Ray Liotta, the names in that are just phenomenal when you actually look at it.
Yeah, on top of that too, it's like I always say, growing up in the local Chicagoland area, like I heard Master Chief constantly telling me to listen to 97.5 FM to drive, you know?
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Steve Downs was a radio DJ out here in Chicago because Bungie was also a Chicago studio before they moved out to Seattle.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, we're going to learn more about them next month. It's a little spoiler, but we're going to do an episode dedicated to Bungie. So you're going to learn a lot of early Bungie on for that one. I just need to work out a day with our friend from Japan, so that one could be live.
The angry friend.
Yes.
Very cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. Like I said, I used to be a huge Bungie fan back in the day. So like that little Chicago pride, you know, you just go like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, and they're doing Halo, so it was easy to have pride in that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Enough.
Yeah, let's continue.
Middle-aged rogue.
What's the door code?
28469.
It was a pleasure working with you.
That's something great. That's not a character we've seen before. Michael Ironside really sells him.
Your guess is as good as mine, but I wouldn't recommend guessing.
I just thought that was a great pair of boots to be walking around in.
Like any real-world Special Forces soldier, Sam has both the tools and the talent to get the job done.
When you develop under Tom Clancy franchise, it means that you need to validate and to justify everything. It takes place in a very near future, so you need to use a political environment that is believable, that is linked to the actual situation. You need to use gadgets that are already existing, that are already used by special forces.
Sam's suit was based on a prototype that's being tested right now by the Navy SEALs, which is a wetsuit that you can wear in and out of water, and is a suit that adapts itself to temperature changes. We thought it would just fit the character, basically, since
our... this guy is a product of the early 2000s. Look at this guy right here.
Yep. Little biscuit, little System of a Down, a little bit of everything.
This is a Frontiers fan right here to the core, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can smell the Miller Lite on this guy.
And the mob reds.
Exactly. This guy just screams time capsule.
Yeah.
Oh my god, lead
God
artist.
Bless the early 2000s, man.
Yeah. This was the lead artist and character designer at Ubisoft right here. Martin Kaye.
No
oh my
kidding.
god. I like this guy.
I hope his style hasn't changed.
I hope it hasn't either. He just looks like he still looks the same. He just hasn't aged because of all the cigarettes he smoked. He's still preserved. They say smoking makes you look older. No, it just preserved this guy. He's got great genetics.
Just froze him in time.
Exactly.
Is based on a near future type of setting.
Great thing about this Splinter Cell series is the gadgets. He has got the scope that he can shove under the door and see what's going on the other side.
Now that is actually so crazy, like just those like gadgets that they had in these games.
Dude, they were so cool, and using them was just like you just kind of wanted them, like the lock, even the lockpick. It's a basic lockpick. You're like, oh my god, wouldn't it be so cool to have all these gadgets? The lockpick, the sticky shockers, the knockout rings, the optic camera. To this day, I'll be on Amazon because they have those cameras now. They'll sell you them for typically for mechanic stuff, like for your engine, your car. Yeah. Every time I see one, the first thing I think of is slipping it under the door in Splinter Cell and taking a look around side to side because it's all you could move. You couldn't move it too much, but every time I see them as I'm kind of scrolling through Amazon for whatever the hell it is I need to buy, the first thing that comes to mind is this.
First thing is would come to mind for that is like, how can I annoy my wife with this?
What are the ways I can use these gadgets to just annoy the crap out of her?
Yeah, just it's like what out of left pocket thing can I come up today where she's just gonna be like, why did I marry you? Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. Like, I'll put this under the door. Like, oh yeah, when she's taking a bath, I'd fuck with her.
Chaff grenades, he's got thermal vision, and he's got night vision. But the gadgets aren't so far out. They're not so sci-fi. You know, these things are stuff that probably stealth operatives in the real world actually use, which makes it even more exciting to the player.
Sam's goggle became an important part of his appearance because we wanted to come up with a design that would...
Very iconic.
100%. 100%.
It's just three little glowing dots, but everyone who sees that, if they're a gamer, they automatically think Splinter Cell, even if they haven't played Splinter Cell.
I was just going to say, I'm like, even if you haven't played, I feel like you would recognize it. Yep, that's Splinter Cell. It was an iconic choice. And even so much so, as I was saying, I was watching the... I only watched like the first 2 episodes of the animated series on Netflix. And it... just small kind of gripe with it. It doesn't really feel like it's really a Splinter Cell story. Honestly, it feels like it's kind of just like a Shadow Ops story, kind of painted with the IP of Splinter Cell. And one of the main ways they do it is like right at the beginning, you see those 3 dots and you're like, yep, I'm watching a Splinter Cell show. And then unfortunately after that, it kind of feels like it's not one, but it is that iconic that the second you see it, you just recognize it.
Yeah, it's so iconic, even like when it's not like the green lights too. Like I got the Conviction steelbook.
Yep.
And the Conviction steelbook is like 3 bullet holes that are made to look.
Oh, in the
like
same. Oh, that's cool.
Like,
that's cool.
Here, let me bring it up real quick. I could show it off.
That's actually really cool. Conviction was okay. The only one I didn't play of the mainline console games because they had some handheld stuff. I think like the Nokia N-Gage got a something or other.
Yeah.
Console games. The only one I didn't play was Double Agent. I need to go, and I own it. I have it on my Xbox. The thing's been collecting dust for like a year. I gotta set it back up on my monitors here. But Conviction was fine. It just didn't feel like Splinter Cell. Felt a little bit more like kind of a mix of some Assassin's Creed and little bit of Hitman, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which nothing wrong with that. I like both of those game series too. But when I'm playing Splinter Cell, I wanted Splinter Cell.
Yeah, but like here, if you can see real quick.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is pretty cool. That is honestly a really cool steel book.
Yeah, it's one of the little ones.
But again, yeah, you're right, recognizable. Had I seen that, I would know this has to be a Splinter Cell game without even questioning it.
And then over here, we got Diablo checking in again. It says, apparently Tom Clancy really disliked the 3-dotted night vision goggles. Thought it was unrealistic.
So one thing I will say is I did always feel like people would see those green lights in the shadows. And it did always seem like it's something that would give away his position as he's hiding. But I'm totally okay with overlooking it because it looks so badass.
Yeah.
It's just iconic. I don't care.
Yeah, it's what we call video game logic. It's just like you don't really have to think about it too hard sometimes. It's like just enjoy the moment, all right?
Right. Just let it sink in and don't think too hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's like once you start questioning it too much, you're just going to ruin it for yourself.
Make the character recognizable to the player. So the silhouette with the 3 dots makes Sam recognizable to a lot of people.
Sam's first mission is not stopping terrorists, and it's got nothing to do with saving the world. His first job is to take on one of the biggest legends in the world of gaming. In November 2002, Ubisoft releases Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell for the Xbox, and Sam Fisher goes head-to-head against Konami's Solid Snake.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize it went up against Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, right up against it.
Wow, that's crazy. And
I don't know how it performed against it, to be honest with you. I'm assuming it did well for itself. I just don't know how it did in competition.
I think we're going to learn right here. That's
I would imagine.
This newcomer holds his own.
The Splinter Cell game was an overwhelming success. In many ways, it almost put the Xbox on the map as well. People bought the Xbox just to play Splinter Cell. And when you do that, that is a successful game. A game that sells a console is the best game that you can make.
So I had just got the console. And
1 million copies sold right here. Okay.
So it didn't sell me the console just because I got the console for Christmas. So I kind of just got it first. But it absolutely was one of the first games that, like my brother and I had gotten for the console. And I can totally see why I would have sold consoles because it's just, again, brilliant first game in a franchise.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And we're going to joke a little bit right here, but this sold 1/10 of the entire franchise of Silent Hill.
Right. Which is kind of wild when you think about it, honestly.
Well, I think I'll just use Silent Hill as the reference.
Yeah, that's kind of like the thermometer, the gauge at this point.
Yes, it's like Silent Hill combined sold for 10 million units. Let's put this into perspective.
Or sold in half a year, turning it into a platinum hit.
Yeah,
no one is surprised to hear that a sequel is on the way. But what gamers don't expect is for an entirely different team to be developing the game.
Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow was done by Ubisoft's Shanghai team.
Shanghai, that's
Montreal
team.
Okay.
Ubisoft Shanghai. I did not know that one.
I was unaware. I knew one was Montreal. I just didn't realize the one that did Pandora Tomorrow was Shanghai. I did not know they had a Shanghai studio.
I knew they had a Shanghai studio, but they've been kind of like relegated to support. I didn't know they were the lead.
And I'll be honest, they crushed it with Pandora Tomorrow. I struggle to rank them, honestly. It's easier for me to rank the Arkham games than it is the Splinter Cell games. I kind of want to say Chaos. Oh, God. I don't know. Pandora Tomorrow might be my favorite. It's really, I have to go through and play them all again, like at this age of my life, to really be able to kind of rank them, because Pandora Tomorrow is fantastic.
Well, like I said, you have an Xbox Series X, right?
Yep. And I have all of them all the way, I think, through Double Agent. So I do need to go back. I actually played, I replayed the original Splinter Cell a year ago, just about this time a year ago, actually. And it was with the intent to go through the whole series again. Just, of course, as always, life happens and things get pushed to the side. But I made it through the first game again and just absolutely loved it just as much as I did the first time. So Pandora Tomorrow is actually up next.
Yeah, you should check it out maybe after this. Who knows?
I might even do a video ranking them just for fun. That's not a bad idea, man. That is not a bad idea.
You should get Neo on too with that one too.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea. I know he's a big fan. This is some brainstorming right now. That's a good. I'm gonna take some notes here.
Hell yeah! All right, let's find out how Shanghai did this.
Took a break for a little bit. It just shows the trust that Ubisoft has with their different development teams. the Shanghai studio was extremely successful in creating a sequel.
In March 2004, Ubisoft releases Splinter Cell
Pandora Tomorrow
for the Xbox.
I thought the storyline was a lot deeper in Pandora Tomorrow, and it really fleshed out Sam Fisher even more for the fans. We knew who he was from the first game, but Pandora Tomorrow actually made him a little more human, and we understood more about Sam Fisher than we did in the first game.
These early 2000s graphics.
In this sequel, Sam Fisher is tasked with stopping a terrorist group from releasing a deadly disease into the world.
Yeah, like we joke about it now, but this shit was cutting edge. Yeah.
Oh yeah. This was like watching this. I felt like I was watching a movie back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
While the game includes the usual mix of new gadgets, levels, and moves, it's the new multiplayer mode that really makes an impact.
Yeah, so this was lost on me.
Pandora Tomorrow really is the first game that gives you two totally diametrically opposed ways to play.
Pandora Tomorrow has created an incredibly compelling multiplayer format between the spies and the mercenaries.
You've got one side that's sneaking around and the other side that's running around trying to blow those guys up through maximum violence. You've really got two entirely different games going on, but they merge seamlessly, and it's just an absolute dynamite multiplayer mode.
Yeah, see, like...
I wish I got to experience this, because that is honestly a really cool concept.
Yeah, I wish I kind of did too, but like I said, I was a Halo guy, you know, so it's just like everything went to Halo.
Right, and this probably would have felt so odd compared to Halo, for sure.
Like just like looking at it right here too, there's like you're going up and grabbing people, choking them out, throwing flashbangs and stuff. Like it definitely looks like a very in-depth, you know, more Sweatlord kind of multiplayer than even Halo was, you know.
For sure. That's one thing that I do wish. Obviously, I would imagine these servers are long since been shut down.
Oh yeah.
I do wish I could have experienced this side of the multiplayer at the time, because I missed it entirely, and it sounds like it was kind of, you know, pivotal in terms of people's memory of this game, or the kind of jump that this game made from the first one.
Yeah, because another thing too is, like I said, I didn't play these games as a kid, but another thing too is my friends never really were playing these games too. So I had no idea that there was, like, until just watching this right now, that there was a multiplayer aspect of you know, Pandora's Tomorrow.
Right. No, and it's definitely made its name on the solo player experience for sure. But this was certainly a really cool feature to have added to it.
Yeah. It does look a lot of fun from what we're seeing. Like this, like if I was, say, you know, not at like a early preteen teen kind of deal, you know, like if I was like in my 20s, this might be probably been more of my jam at the time, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, interestingly, actually, Arkham Origins, the one game that WB Montreal did, not to go off on an Arkham tangent, but they did something kind of similar in a way, where they had obviously the Arkham games solo player experience, but that one they decided to introduce this multiplayer mode, and the premise of it was there was Team Bane and Team Joker, which was like 3v3 Gears of War kind of over the shoulder style shooter.
Oh wow!
Those two teams would fight each other in this little arena, all the while Batman and Robin were sneaking around in a stealth mode, trying to incapacitate both teams to the point where, if you were able to strike enough fear into the teams and knock out all the players, the Batman and Robin teams win. If either Joker or Bane team was able to eliminate the other team, as well as Batman and Robin, they win. The Joker and Bane teams, if they performed well enough, one person would be able to transform into Bane or Joker. So it was a really cool kind of... I didn't do very well, and it didn't review very well. But if you were somebody who honestly played it, and I played hours upon hours of it, it was imperfect, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was really interesting. And I wonder if they grabbed any influence from this kind of style of like stealth versus mercenary type of thing, because it's the only other time I can really think of something like that.
Yeah, you know, I never knew that either. I still haven't played Origins. I hear that it's a good game.
It's solid. It's not bad. Yeah. It's the worst. I hate to say it, like by default, it's the worst of the group of the Arkham games, in my opinion. It's my least favorite. But that's just kind of by default. Something has to be last. So it's solid. It's good. It's got its issues. It's not nearly as good as the rest, but it's, you know, it's worthy of playing.
Yeah, you know, with Christmas coming up and everything too, because of the cold feeling outside. You know, like ironically enough, like the Tim Burton's Batman movies, I consider like Batman. What's the one with Michelle Pfeiffer?
Returns.
Yeah, Batman Returns. I was gonna say Forever. I'm like, no, that ain't right.
Yeah, that's not the George Clooney one. I believe that's the Val Kilmer
That's
one.
Val Kilmer, Danny DeVito,
and Batman and Robin is George Clooney.
Yeah, but I that's a Christmas movie to me. That's a fucked up Christmas movie.
No, it is. I mean, it's set at the Christmas time with Danny, obviously, the wintry setting, but it's legitimately at one point, there's a whole thing with the Christmas tree and all that. Yeah, it's definitely a Christmas setting movie for sure.
Yeah, I love the Tim Burton Batman movies, but that's because I love Tim Burton so much.
Yeah, one again, agreed. I'm a huge fan of Tim Burton and his style, but I'm also a huge fan of Batman. So you put the two and two together, I'm going to be a big fan. I've always loved those movies.
Exactly. All right, let's continue.
Using the Xbox Live communicators has been an incredibly compelling part of a very original multiplayer experience.
Pandora Tomorrow is every bit as successful as the first Splinter Cell title, selling 1.7 million copies in a year. But
damn,
yeah,
so
crazy.
Now I've got to look this up out of curiosity about the Splinter Cell.
This is actually the first time I've ever heard the numbers on sales. I've never looked into it, so this is really interesting.
Yeah, so they said Splinter Cell, the original, sold 1 million copies in half a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pandora's Tomorrow sold 1.7 million copies in a year. So that's interesting. So as of 2016, the Splinter Cell franchise has sold 32 million copies.
Interesting.
Let me see here. Let's see if I can find all the numbers.
There's a lot of little. I think there was some handheld ones. Like I said, there was one for the Nokia N-Gage. So I don't know if those are being taken into account or if this is just console numbers.
So
these games.
These are what they have kind of listed over here. So the original Splinter Cell game sold 8 million copies throughout its entire life cycle.
Wow.
Pandora's Tomorrow sold 5 million copies.
Oh, interesting. I would have thought more.
Yeah, Chaos Theory sold 6 million copies.
Okay, split the difference.
And then after that, it was basically the only game that sold close to that after that was Conviction with 5 million. Everywhere else was respectable, like 3.5 and 2.5. And these are last updated probably about a year ago, they said. And it's not including all the spinoffs and stuff like that, too.
Yeah. It's interesting with Conviction. I do want to still go back and play those as well. Double Agent, Conviction, and Blacklist. I've played Conviction and Blacklist. Those are just the only two I've played once. It was literally at the times that they came out. So that would have been, I think, 2013 for Blacklist. And Conviction, probably around 2009 or 10. So it's been, as you can tell, a very long time since I've played those, over a decade.
Yeah, but it's also kind of one of the fickle things about sequel too. It's the mainline one sold 8 million copies, and then after that, it dropped down by a 3 million copy loss too.
And I would argue that the games got better. As much as I love the original for what it is and setting the franchise up, I want to say again, I do have to replay. Like I said, I just did the first one, so I do have to go through Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory again because it's been a long time. But if I recall, they got better with each one. I think Chaos Theory, if I recall, was my favorite. I think it ended up being, or my favorite in terms of what the gameplay and everything was. I think the first one will always kind of have my heart as the favorite one just because of what it was, the nostalgia and all that.
Yeah.
But Chaos Theory was really, really good in terms of gameplay, the additions they made, the mechanics, the environments, all that. It felt like the kind of perfection of the gameplay that they were going for. So that's interesting that they didn't sell as well as the first.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
The original developers of Splinter Cell haven't just been sitting around counting their money. They've been hard at work on a third game, and when it's revealed to the world, everyone is amazed.
Yeah, so like I said, we were looking at it too. It's 2002, 2004, and then 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So you did bring it up as a perfect point. It's just they did not waste too much time.
No, they were just cranking them out. But again, when you look at it, the Montreal group had 3 years essentially to work on, their sequel. It was just in the meantime, it's a brilliant business strategy if it works. Like if Ubisoft Shanghai dropped the ball on it, that could have been disastrous to a degree. Could have maybe sunk some interest in the franchise, but they didn't. They did a great job, so it worked out great. Where the other group was able to work on a game for 3 years and perfect it. I'm assuming they worked on it for 3 years. I mean, maybe they didn't, maybe they did. I don't really know. But it at least bought them more time to work on it than having to kind of go bang, bang, bang with these games. So yeah, I mean, yeah, hats off. When you do something well, you got to give credit to it. And I think Ubisoft had a great business plan there.
Exactly.
Both Splinter Cell and Pandora Tomorrow.
That was always an issue with the first game. The kind of janky responses to some of the shots and things like that. That was an issue. Specifically that spot too. I remember having difficulty getting, because there's 2 guards right there, and then there's another guy pacing down the alley, and one more up in a balcony. And oh my God, if you don't hit those shots, it becomes frustrating as hell to get through that area. So yeah, that was always a problem.
Yeah.
Action genre in new directions, but the third game in the series, Chaos Theory, is a giant leap into the next generation.
With Chaos Theory, they're definitely taking Splinter Cell to a new level. What they're trying to do with Chaos Theory is really create a true sequel in the single-player version.
When's the last time I saw you? I'm afraid I have no recollection of that, Senator. That's right.
We wanted to enlarge the boundaries of the game, to remove all the trial and error type of gameplay. We wanted to make the game more accessible for a larger audience.
Once again, Ubisoft Montreal crafts a frighteningly believable scenario to set the game in.
Oh, I remember this, yeah. It used to freak me out as a kid. It was a bit graphic. I like that they did it with the shadows, because I believe by the time you get down there, it's kind of over. But yeah, I remember as a kid walking it the first time, I was like, oh shit, this is serious.
Yeah, well, on top of that, too, like, you got to look at the backdrop, too, when all these games were coming out, too. This was after 9/11, obviously.
Yep.
So, like, we were well into the war in Afghanistan and Iraq and everything, too. So, it did really kind of resonate with a group of people during that time as well.
Yeah, well, it just made it feel so realistic. Obviously, I mean, it's based in a sense of realism that these things, you know, that there are shadow operatives, there are, you know, these kind of things going on in the world that require shadow ops and all this kind of stuff, you know, right or wrong, that's not the conversation at the moment. Just the idea that it's real is kind of factual, not kind of, I mean, it is factual. So the kind of backdrop to it at the time being such a kind of high tense time for, you know, us in America and really the whole world, it just made everything feel so real in these games, which was, you know, kind of benefited in a way.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you remember too, but I think this is also during the time when we were also dealing with like the bird flu and the swine flu and all that stuff. I think it was around this time we had like one of those epidemics that was
SARS was a big thing at the time.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, it was the idea of you know, biochemical warfare and all that, or if I've got the term right, that whole thing. But it was. Again, it just added to the realism of the game, just given that like all this crazy stuff was going on in the world at the time.
Yeah, like the fear of a biological agent getting loose or something.
Right.
Yeah, that was more of like that was more of the story in Pandora Tomorrow, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I forgot. Like they're going to tell us the story, but I don't know Chaos Theory as well.
And it's funny you say that, because the Chaos Theory story overall is slipping my mind a little bit. I remember Nicolad's in the first game, and I think his name is Sedona in Pandora Tomorrow, as well as I believe the term was Mortified Penguin was the other guy he was working with. I just can't remember what the reveal was as to who Mortified Penguin was. It's been a while, but the Chaos Theory story is slipping my mind a little bit. It's been at least 15 years since I've played the game.
Yeah, so we're about to hear it anyway.
The world from these kinds of attacks. I mean, it's no surprise there.
In Asia, there's an economic crisis in Japan. There's a tension going on between China and North Korea.
Events in the Yellow Sea took a turn for the worse today when North Korean and Chinese forces blockaded and boarded a Japanese cargo ship.
So when all of these players get involved in this, it gets very political and very ugly. And it's really about how Sam and Echelon and all of these major players interact with each other.
So Sam is sent in this area to check what's going on, to look for different information.
Why did you torture Morgenhold?
I don't know.
But Sam is always looking for what we think is the bad guy, and turns out that at some point we're like, wow, it might be him.
You're not much good to me anymore.
Chaos Theory includes massive improvements in both graphics and sound.
So we've spent nearly 8 months to rebuild all our graphic engine from scratch.
People consider the graphics in the original Splinter Cell as very good. So we had a very tough challenge ahead to innovate, get like one full step ahead of everybody else.
I still think it looks pretty good, even to this day, honestly.
Well, yeah, we're watching this at like 480p, basically, and even still, like, you know, looking at like the shadow designs and the lighting and stuff. Like I said, I wonder how it would look right now if you played it on your Series X with like all the bells and whistles of auto HDR and stuff, you know?
Yep, for sure.
What we call a sound masking system. The noise that's in an environment are very loud. Any sound that you make won't be heard.
Noisy down here. Makes it easy to
Look at those eyes, bro.
Yeah, all right. As I'm
Technology
complimenting the
on our
graphics, that one
characters
wasn't
is
great.
much improved. It allows us to make much more organic type of texture. Applying that on Sam obviously changes a little bit his look, his face. He might feel a little bit younger now, which is okay. We still kept those gray lines, gray hairs on the sides too, so which is also a signature for our main character.
We built this huge dynamic weather system. We built a dynamic wind system. There's ambient wind in the world. That wind scales dynamically. We built the dynamic.
Yeah, like I can hear it in my headphones too. I don't know if you guys could really hear it if you're not using headphones, but like you can hear like the rustle of the tent and the rain hitting the tent. Like
the rain sounds different from when you're in the tent to when you're outside the tent. The lightning, the thunder, all that comes in, and this, especially this level here. I believe this is the first level. This looks like the lighthouse level. The whole thing is just in a storm, so you're playing with that kind of stuff. You got the opportunity in this to, I believe this was the first game they added cutting through things, so you could cut through the tents, unless they maybe added it in Pandora tomorrow. But you were able to kind of cut through the tents, and that's where you could notice some of that wind waving a little bit more. Like it knew that you cut through the tent, so now that portion of the tent has to wave the same way that the regular opening of the tent does. It was really, honestly, impressive.
I mean, it's still kind of impressive even today if you really think about it.
Yeah, honestly.
You know, it's just like how much work goes into making that like sound and, you know, react properly. Like it's still a feat even today for a lot of people, you know?
Absolutely.
Rain system. And if you step in the water and step back out, you'll see that you're wet, and it changes in real time the mapping on the character, and over time you'll dry off.
The environment, that's one of the reasons why our budget in terms of resources for the hardware is so high in terms of graphics. Graphics are playing a key role in this game, like the light and shadows, how everything interacts together. It's part of the gameplay.
When you take the weather system and our dynamic sound and our dynamic normal mapping and specular highlighting and our dynamic wind, it's really just all of those systems acting together. And we say there's a storm front coming in, rain starts to fall harder, things start to get wet, they start to become more reflective. The enemy at the same time starts to get wet, and they don't like to be wet, so they change their patrols to go places that are dry. Sam gets a lot more interesting details on him. The sound of thunder.
Yeah, exactly.
Comes in and you'll see a flash of light, which might give away your position from the lightning, but then the thunder can cover up the sound you make. So it's all these dynamic systems acting together.
New improvements in the game's AI will make Sam's opponents smarter and deadlier than ever.
Yeah, this was a bitch of an adjustment. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, of course. So we try to give them more human reaction, try to give them some sensation that they want to stay alive. We want them to be scared, to be stressed. So if you play around with a guard and you just make some noise there, break a light there, but he never sees you, he's first going to react like, oh, that's strange.
What is that?
Who's playing with me? And his whole attitude is going to change. He's going to be more stressed, looking around. What we did focus on
that was always the best
creating like, very good compatibility for
brick
the
to
AI.
the forehead.
What we
or
did
a bottle.
is actually make it completely automatic. So the NPC will be aware of where the player is looking at. When they work in group, they can actually call for cover fire. So we wanted to make sure that they would care for their life, they would go for cover, and it would be very tough to kill.
That's still very impressive, even for like back in the day. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna make a flanking system and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was on, and it really translated into far more difficult gameplay than the first 2 games. It was a tough adjustment. I remember getting stuck on this first lighthouse level for ages just because it was like, dude, this is way harder than the other games used to be. But it paid off though, because by the end, again, if you're a gamer that likes the challenge, it paid off. If you're somebody who, wants it on easy, then maybe you didn't enjoy it. But I thought it was a brilliant change to the game. Even as a kid, I was able to recognize, like, damn, this is impressive.
Instead of just, a handful of canned, what we call barks, lines that the AI says, "Did I hear something?"
Did something just go past down there?
And now we have a much broader range of things that they can notice. They can talk to each other about things that they see in the world. If one guy hears a noise, he'll say, "Did you hear that?" And the other guy will say,
"Hey, you! Come out here!"
And then they form like an impromptu team.
Get covered!
So like really much more sophisticated layering of their behaviors and the things that they can do to respond to things that they perceive.
The bad guys aren't the only ones with new tricks up their sleeves. Sam's better at...
I gotta say this, the person that they got to get the footage sucks ass at this game.
It's almost like, were you just trying to show off the ability of the AI, like in terms of hitting you with shots? Because you are brutal, man.
Yeah, it is a brutal.
This is not good gameplay.
That's what I know a lot. It's like he's missing shots. He's
just standing there.
He's getting fucking pelted, not responding. It's like, bro, Sam Fisher, what's going on with you, bro?
This is a little rough, man. They could have picked some. I'm not talking to you. You didn't have to be a pro, but damn, man, you had to be better than this.
It's like you had time to edit it, you know.
You know what I mean?
It's like this was the best footage that you picked. Oh, it was the worst.
Honest to God, what hit the cutting room floor?
Yeah, exactly. I want to know.
Brutal.
Whip than ever, and this time the kid gloves are off. As Splinter Cell Chaos Theory takes shape, it becomes clear that this isn't just another sequel. The development team is set to surpass the previous
Look at
games
those computers,
in every way.
by the way. Man, I
Sam
miss
Fisher
those.
face even greater challenges
Those insane
than before.
towers.
We really want to improve
The good
on
old days.
Sam behavior. We wanted to add some new move.
Oh, yep, these
and
were the
also want
Arkham
to make Sam
takedowns.
more in contact with the whole environment.
Only the best
convinced
agent
they
can use
got,
a knife.
inspiration from these.
Sniping is not cool anymore, see? So Sam's attitude and the rewards of the player by going closer, because you can perform close action, close stealth. So this is an area that was very important for us. New moves, obviously, for Sam, new gadgets.
We wanted to give him some more spectacular moves. The main one is the pro move, which is going on the horizontal pipe, just waiting for an NPC to get just under him and grab him and choke him.
That's so cool.
One of the few moves that we added was to be able to get close to characters, either grab them or knock them out or kill them.
Even the environment can become a useful tool.
There's the physics system. One of the issues we had in the original Splinter Cell was that we didn't have ragdolls. So when we were killing an enemy or just knocking him out, he was actually passing through objects, like a chair, the walls, and we got rid of that. So now the NPC, when they die, they just collide with their environment.
There you go.
Sam Fisher can interact with the body. You can actually pick a body, carry it on your shoulder. You can drop it.
I thought you said a buddy.
It did kind of sound like
it sounded like he said. I was like, oh, they're talking about the co-op
like
now. Oh, that guy could have got away with murder with me. Oh, geez, that was an accent.
Somewhere you can use it as a weapon, so it's very strategic.
You can bash door to knock out an enemy that stands just behind a door.
These new additions give players more freedom to play Chaos Theory any way they want.
If you decide to shoot at everyone or to kill everyone, the game supports it. However, it's going to be harder, and you might miss some opportunity or secondary objectives that you would have otherwise. Those who wants to replay the game or try it as a shooter, why not? It's your game, you decide how you want to play. I mean, we're not the one who's going to tell you how to play, so we decided to design a game that supports any kinds of situation.
I do love that mentality, honestly, when it comes to making a game. I do love the idea of just making it a game that's not a sandbox type of game, almost have a sandbox element to it where you can go in and play how you want to play. You want to go loud, you want to go guns a-blazing, that's your prerogative, that's your call. You go have fun and do it. You want to go stealth, you do it that way. I genuinely appreciate that kind of just mindfulness when it goes into creating a game.
Yeah, and I will say this, I do enjoy like when a dev goes like, yeah, you could play that way, you'll miss out on some other stuff. We want to hopefully get you to experience the full game, but he also says it's also fun for replay value too, you know?
Exactly. And that's why it was such a replayable game for me. In my specific way of doing it was always, how stealth can I do it? I always wanted to go as stealth as possible. So if there was a mission where I ended up getting a little too loud and things got out of hand and my only choice was to go loud, I would always end up trying to redo it and come back to it on the next playthrough and just go, as unseen as possible, just because that was my way of doing it. But you could also do it the other way, which is, again, part of, to me, the brilliance of this franchise.
Yeah, and Diablo says up here, maybe he does consider bodies his buddies. Don't kink shame. That's funny.
Multiplayer modes from Pandora Tomorrow are also improved upon and expanded.
In Chaos Theory, we're introducing another new game mode, which is the co-op. Co-op is mission-based.
This is what I was able to
where
do
two
with my brother.
key agents are going on the field on a side story of what Sam Fisher does.
There was a lot of challenge in the co-op mode, having two playable characters acting at the same time and making very specific action together, to lock together to do some specific move and sometimes interact with a card or something.
Co-op is very important because think of everything you can do for single player. Imagine that you now have a partner that can help each other to reach certain area they couldn't otherwise. They can work together. So
that's such a cool concept, though.
It
today,
really
man.
was. For having missed out on the multiplayer side of it, being able to play this side of it with my brother at the time was like the coolest thing in the world. And they actually brought this back for Splinter Cell. God, what was the 1 in 13 called? I just said it too a second ago when I was talking about Conviction. Blacklist, I think?
Blacklist, yeah.
Yeah. They brought this concept back of doing co-op missions in Blacklist. And me and, my literal best friend, we had a blast playing through all the missions that were essentially just co-op missions.
Yeah, for sure.
But one of them could push another one on the enemies to knock them out, so you cannot do it by yourself anymore.
That doesn't seem like the best method for knocking somebody out, but it was still cool.
I mean, it's funny as shit. It's
I probably would just crawl up behind them like you do in the rest of the game, but if you can launch somebody like a catapult, why not?
It reminds me of that scene in Starship Trooper where he says slip neck 3-hole kind of deal and stuff like that. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know why it makes me think of that. It just makes me think of slip neck 3-hole.
Coincidentally, and Michael Ironside movie, so full circle.
Oh, right. It's like I said, small world.
The value behind it with all those elements is nearly unlimited.
That was also a cool mechanic.
Today, the Splinter Cell series has sold 9.7 million copies worldwide.
Wow.
9.7 worldwide. Wow.
That's so crazy to think about. Like that is almost the entirety of
Silent Hill. Yeah, pretty much.
That joke's never gonna die.
That's funny.
That is very funny. So like we said, so at the time, so we said 8 million for the original, and then we said 11 million for the following two. So this was, I think, just when Chaos Theory was coming out or just had come out. So in that time frame, Splinter Cell, both of the Pandora Tomorrow and the original, really was making off in sales. And I believe these were quasi Xbox exclusives, but they did go to PlayStation 2 and everything.
So I've been I wasn't sure of that. I meant to look because when we decided to do this episode, I actually wanted to buy them for my PlayStation as well. Just because one, I kind of like to have games on all my consoles. Two, my PlayStation is the most readily accessible one hooked up to my PC.
Yeah,
especially for gameplay recording. I just really didn't feel like dealing with the whole Xbox thing right now and hooking it all back up. So I'm like, if I can just get it on PlayStation, easier. And then it wasn't on there. And then I started looking into it. I'm like, I didn't realize this was not on PlayStation, or has it not ever been, or is it just not now? Or because I know I had it all on Xbox. I was kind of confused on what happened with the licensing there. I didn't realize this was kind of soft exclusive, I guess.
Yeah, it was.
That was news to me.
I think it was soft at the time. Like you can play them now, but through the backwards compatibility program for Microsoft, like they did port all of these games, like the original Xbox ones, to be in. So if you own the disc for the Xbox version, you can put it in there, and you can download the game and play it that way. But I do know, I think they have all of them. Splinter Cell, Pandora's Theory, and Chaos, Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory are all available if you have the Series X and S, that you could just play them right now.
Right. Yep.
Versus the PS4 and the PS5. No, I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't see them in the store or anything, and online it seemed like there was no way to play them on PlayStation unless it was like modding or something. I can't remember what the hell it was. There was some like backdoor way to do it. I'm like, well, I'm not bothered with all that. I'll just hook my Xbox back up.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, it's like it doesn't take that much time. It's just plug in 2 cables.
Right. It's just me being lazy, to be honest.
Exactly. It's first world problems. That's what it is.
100%.
It's like, but I got to crawl under there.
Yeah,
I got to unplug something.
Pull the monitors forward and move shit on my desk.
I know. It's like, that's why I fucking just leave them all plugged in and say, fuck it.
Yeah. That will be the end result of this time of doing it, is that they're all just going to stay plugged in.
It's like I buy another TV just to put my other consoles on.
Honest to God. Good problems.
Exactly.
The series has even spawned a New York Times best-selling novel.
No
The
kidding.
2005 release of Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is just another step for this revolutionary series.
Splinter Cell is the type of series that's probably going to have a lot of longevity, mainly because it's a game that's steeped in
only
reality.
until 2013, buddy.
Yeah,
you not making it.
You were kind of right. There was
Yeah.
some longevity to it. It lasted another 8 years.
Another 8 years or so, and then they've just abandoned it for some reason.
I mean,
Ubisoft.
he's popped up a few times, and like
he's in Rainbow Six
Wildlands.
Siege, I believe. I think he's a character in Siege.
DLC in Wildlands.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. At least
I think
that's about it.
And a really shitty anime, from what we hear.
Yeah, a not great anime, and I'm so bummed because this is one of my biggest gripes. Talked to Neo about this actually. One of my biggest gripes about Chaos Theory is, so at the time, if you went into the menus and you went into the extras section, there was a super cool little teaser trailer for coming soon, a Splinter Cell movie. Well, guess what? We never got that movie, and I've been bummed about it for like 20 years now, and I'm still bummed about it because I think the most recent attempt was attached to Tom Hardy, and that one just fell through recently too, because I remember sending the link to Neo when I found out that I was falling through. So yeah, unfortunately, they just like don't know what to do with the Splinter Cell franchise, and to me, it's crazy because it's like, dude, number one, make another game. Number two, make a damn movie or a series. I mean, this guy lends himself to being an absolute massive character for people if you just do it. I don't understand why they won't do it, but
yeah, like, especially with the success of Jack Reacher, you think.
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like you
know?
see this, and Reacher's Tom Clancy too, isn't he?
I believe so.
Oh, Jack Ryan is, or Jack. I get so confused, but regardless,
yeah,
I get
like
cool character, and he's doing well with it. His show from page to screen, so. Why not take something that's already kind of from screen to screen? It's just video game screen to TV or movie. Like, come on, man. It just seems too easy.
You know, especially now with like the world climate the way it is with some stuff that's going on. Like, you could definitely work out something.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's. I mean, when are we not ever in a kind of tense climate? But this kind of shadow ops, espionage, all that kind of stuff always lends itself to realism because it's kind of always going on in the world. So, like, what are you waiting for, man? Just adapt it. It's the oddest thing to me that they've left this guy on the shelf. I mean, Sam Fisher is such a badass character, and but not even just badass. He's interesting. There's a lot to him. Like I said, he's got a daughter, and I don't want to spoil anything that goes on there, so I'll leave it at that. But like, there's a lot of interesting stuff to him. He's not just this plain vanilla kind of spy guy. He's got an interesting backstory. Even if you wanted to do like a younger Sam Fisher, so that way you could kind of tell stories with him for years to get to a point where you're reaching kind of the older, grizzled Sam Fisher that we know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, you could tell stories with this character for ages, and I just don't understand why they refuse to.
Yeah, and like you could also have fun. You can have Michael Ironside make a cameo, you know?
You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. The guy who does Lambert's voice could make a cameo because that's one thing, honestly. It's not just Sam, it's not Michael Ironside. Unfortunately, I can't remember the actor's name who does Lambert. His kind of superior, I guess. That's always kind of giving them the missions from third echelon in the games.
Yeah.
Super cool character. Voice work is super well done. Grimm's daughter, Shetland, all these characters were all voiced very well. They're iconic names if you know the franchise. So maybe iconic's not the right word, because iconic has to kind of blow up beyond people who may have played the games or not. But just incredibly well done roles in terms of voice acting, but the characters as well. Very interesting, very cool. Lend them because Grimm's daughter and Shetland are mentioned in this anime, and again, it feels a little bit like they're just painting, the story that they wanted to tell with Splinter Cell as an IP. But the second I heard those, that's kind of what got me into the first episode. Was like, oh, Grimm's daughter's going to be in this, and Shetland's. Okay, so this is confusing. Grimm's daughter is actually a last name, but Shetland's daughter is actually the daughter of Douglas Shetland from the game in the series. So, but regardless, you hear the names, you're like, oh man, that's cool. I didn't know they were going to use all these characters. So again, just I can't understand why they don't want to flesh this out more into different media.
Yeah, and also just to answer your question about the first game was published by Microsoft, and then later the rights returned to Ubisoft, and they ported it to everything else.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
I did not know that, actually.
Me neither. Me neither.
That's very interesting. So there you go.
That makes sense as to why it was a bit of a console seller too then.
Yeah, so there you go. For people who are wondering, that's why it was originally exclusive, if you didn't know that.
Somewhere in the world right now. For that fact alone, I think they can always update the Splinter Cell series. It's a great franchise to really keep it rolling with the times.
That's so funny. You just basically said that.
Yeah. Right on cue. All right.
Right on cue. Look at that. Great minds think alike. From, almost from 2 decades ago. There you go.
Wow.
They were basically. Yeah. You little did you know.
I just needed a little help.
Tired that was an awesome trip down memory lane.
From other games.
Yeah.
Just to say what's right and what's wrong.
I wonder what this commercial is. I want to see it.
Easy.
Put in the code. Put in the code.
Feels very G4.
Oh yeah.
I'm so sorry.
This has got to be cheap.
Boo!
It was gonna be cheap. I know it.
Oh, those bastards! Right when we were about to get it. Fuck! Those bastards.
That's what they call a big league tease.
Oh, it fucking edged hard right there. Oh,
just taking a sip of my drink, almost spit it out.
But yeah, no, that was a very interesting documentary to get back there.
That was really cool. That was honestly, for me, that was a super fun trip down memory lane with those games. I just love them. They were my original favorite franchise, favorite trilogy. It's since been replaced by the Arkham trilogy, the main Arkham trilogy, not including Origins. But honestly, that could just be a bit of recency bias. That's why I really want to go back and play these again, because I just, as a kid, I remember telling everybody in school, go play these games. You got to play the Splinter Cell. Because like, for some reason, it felt like in my immediate world, nobody was playing these games except me, and I couldn't understand them. Like, these games are fucking brilliant, man. You guys got to be playing these. Like, I could never understand why people weren't. It just seemed like they just, I mean, again, it was the time of Halo and all that, so I do understand other things were just more popular and kind of taking the stage, as they had the right to, because Halo's fantastic and all that. Don't get me wrong. But just for some reason, it always felt like this little hidden gem that was always just tied to me as a gamer and not many other people around me. So honestly, hearing how I never really knew how successful they were until watching this documentary. So that's really good to see. But I just, for years, was just singing the praises of this franchise, and it's time for me to take another trip back to it and just to see if it can actually go back to unseating Arkham for its original title as my favorite trilogy.
Another thing too is, like I always say, that you never know if a game hits you perfectly at the time, or like how it would go back on playing a game now that you're older. Like I always say to people, like when I was younger, I thought Knights of the Old Republic was dog shit. And then I replayed Knights of the Old Republic when I was like a teenager. Like I was like a little preteen when I played it, because I thought Knights of the Old Republic was going to be more like Fable.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I like, this is another problem too sometimes, is when you try to project something of a preconceived notion onto something, you could kind of be disappointed in it. And that's why I try to like judge the art that I'm playing for the art that it is, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
when I went back and played Knights of the Old Republic 2, actually, like that got me back into playing them, and I replayed 1. I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I was such an idiot, you know?
No, I think that's important. I mean, honestly, that's with everything too. Movies, TVs, all that kind of stuff. Those preconceived notions, man, can really set you on the wrong path for something. Whether it's good notions or bad, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can expect something to be really, really good because you think it's going to be this, and then you get it, and it's just not. And like it can, it can disappoint you that way, or vice versa. So you could like you kind of pointed there, but you could also kind of expect something to be bad, and then it ends up being good. So I do my best, and it's a hard lesson to learn. I've learned it unfortunately the hard way many times in the past.
Yeah.
And it's a hard one to continue to implement even as an adult to this day, because sometimes I'll see a trailer for something like a movie or a game, and I'm like, oh my God, this looks like dog shit. And then I finally watch it, and I'm like, oh, look at me judging a book by cover again. I'm never going to learn that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to keep yourself present in the moment and just be like, all right, let me take it for what it is, whether it's a trailer, and then actually take it for what it is when I get my hands on it. If it's a game, or I get my eyes on it, if it's a movie. It's the best way to approach things, I think, with a blank slate. But it's also super difficult to do all the time. We're only human.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, there's nothing wrong with looking at something and going like, I don't know, that just doesn't interest me,
100%.
Yeah, I feel
100%.
like sometimes we also get lost in that with like the reaction culture that we live in.
For sure.
It's like everyone needs to have an opinion.
And it's always got to be extreme. It's either got to be
Yeah.
the best thing I've ever seen or the biggest pile of dog shit out there. And it's like, no, man. So you can just kind of take it for what it is and just calm down a bit. Like, might look all right, might look good, might look bad. It doesn't always have to be this extreme reactive take.
Yeah,
I just recently did it with Expedition 33. I kept looking at these trailers. Everybody's like, this looks like game of the year, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not a turn-based gamer mostly. I'm like, I'm not seeing it with this game. I don't get what everybody's seeing. I don't think this is for me. Then just like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I'm like, let me just download it. It's on Game Pass. Give it a try. Everybody's giving it hype. And I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a beautiful looking game. The music's phenomenal. I think the voice acting's good. I'm getting used to the turn-based style of gameplay because that's not typically something I'm into. But I'm quickly getting used to it, and I'm really enjoying my time with it. So it's like, and again, I'm here saying going with a blank slate, and here I was judging it based off what it was or what I thought it might be. So, it's easier said than done, but I do think even if you can't always go in with that blank slate, sometimes try to fight it. Fight that preconceived notion and give it a shot. See what happens.
Yeah, leave your comfort zone. Give it a chance,
Exactly.
And for sure, it's like there's like you never know if how can I say this? You never know what is going to exactly spark your interest. You're never going to know if something you like still holds up. I mean, we all grow as people. The old saying is, or the old adage is like all our cells take 7 years to replace in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I always kind of joke with that. It's like, I've been a different person, at least 7, 14, 21, 28, like almost 5 times now,
Yeah, fair enough.
But when I turned 25, like if the adage is true, well, I'm like, I'm a new person, It's like the ship of Theseus metaphor,
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
So if that's the case, it's like, well, yeah, life changes you, and you never know, like if you go back and like maybe you appreciate something even more because now you get the jokes, now you get the references, now you know you kind of get it, like Hey Arnold and stuff, like you see like and empathize with like what's going on, and then when you grow up, you understand the metaphors that they were doing,
Right. 100%.
And it's like there's so much things like that, and like I am curious about like if you do like the original trilogy, like maybe go check out the 360 games and see if they kind of still hold up and stuff. Why did I say games like that? I don't know.
I wasn't gonna call it out, but I did hear it.
I don't know what happened there. My
Those
brain
games.
my brain skipped right there.
What are you gonna do? It happens.
But like, yeah, that's what I mean, because the original 3 are like very well received, but like you were saying, like the other 3, the follow up, I've heard mixed things about them.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of been mixed at best. The only one I've never played is Double Agent, so that's actually high on my list to finally play because I've heard the worst about that one. And I always wonder, I'm like, is it really that bad of a game? Like, or was it just they tried something too different from what that main trilogy was at that time? Like it was too different and too close to the greatness of those original three that it just didn't resonate well. Like maybe on its own, kind of in a vacuum, it's actually not a bad game. It's just maybe, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. So I am really interested in one, playing that one for the first time, and two, going back to Conviction and Blacklist. I did remember liking Blacklist more, but again, this was than I did Conviction. But again, we're talking like 2009 and 2013. I only gave those games one playthrough, so I can't. It's like trying to food one time and thinking you're really, from one time from one restaurant and thinking like, oh yeah, no, that food's crap. I don't like it from anywhere. Like, no, maybe it is good. I just got to go back and give it another try.
No, without a doubt. And that's why I feel like I kind of wanted to steal a bit for a while from another YouTube person I follow. It's False Swipe Games. And they're a Pokemon YouTuber that talks about like how good Pokemon were competitively and stuff through the history of the generations.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that would be a fun, like, because they kind of do like how good was blank Pokemon actually, or how bad was blank Pokemon actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was like, yeah, I could kind of rework and steal a little bit of that hobby. It's like, how bad was video game actually,
Right. Yeah, that'd be really cool actually.
Yeah, it would be fun. Yeah, but just like right now, trying to figure out like how to work Restream first, because I'm slowly trying to add some real quality to the show, not like this bootleg version I was doing before.
Hey, progress every day, right? What are you gonna do?
Exactly. It's my Luddite ass is gonna learn how to do something right eventually. But yeah, like they also said that it was announced back in, geez, think about this, 2021, that they were going to reboot and remake the first Splinter Cell game, and we are now currently entering year 5 coming up soon of nothing to show from that angle.
It's gotten to the point, man, where like I just stop holding my breath on new Splinter Cell stuff, or even new remakes of old Splinter Cell stuff, because it just feels like it never comes. It just feels like you hear this, that, the other thing, and I just never get it. And as somebody, it's kind of, I'll be honest, it's in a way been part of what's diminished my passion for Splinter Cell. My passion for that trilogy will always be there, but it's gotten so disappointing, just the fact that it feels like Sam Fisher and the series has been on the shelf for so long that, like, again, it's been a very long time since I've even replayed those games. Minus, like I said, a year ago, I just replayed the first one.
Yeah.
Because it literally was because I found them all on Xbox, ready to purchase and download. They were all like dirt cheap too. It was like $4 or $5 a game.
Yeah, I know, they're super cheap.
So I grabbed them all. I was like, oh sweet, I'm gonna finally replay these again. But like I did the one, and then I haven't gone back to it yet. And part of that, just like, because again, the Arkham series is something I go through the Arkham. I always credit it as my favorite at the moment. It's my favorite, and it's been for a long time. And I'm constantly replaying those, like at least like once a year, man. I'm going back and replaying those. And I feel like something about the fact that they just have left this character on the shelf is kind of what's made me put it on the shelf. And I honestly kind of regret that a little bit. I'm a little shameful of myself for that, because I should be replaying these games more, because they were the original replay game for me. I kid you not. I must have replayed that first trilogy countless times back in the day, and it's been well over a decade since. So, shame on me a little bit, but shame on them for letting something get so rusty that they've even diminished the most passionate type of fans, love for it a bit.
Yeah, but as I said before, if they came up with something, it does kind of get you back into the hype of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it takes, right? It's like playing golf. It only takes one good swing to get you back. So that's
right.
It. Give me that one good swing, and I'll be back spending money again. Just let me get it. Give me that taste of the good stuff.
Like as much shit as we give like the Game Awards and stuff like that too, for like having like the cringy speeches and like the stupid ads and stuff like that. I do want to say this. Some of my favorite game announcements have been at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Alan Wake 2, Space Marine 2, Okami 2. Like all these games that I love and have been waiting for a sequel for like ever. It's like it does get the blood pumping, and you get excited. Like even Psychonauts 2 was announced there,
right?
And All
I
those
think it's fair that two things can exist. I think we can, we can poke fun at the cringe of the Game Awards, but they also serve, a purpose that does bring news and good stuff to us as gamers. So I don't think there's an issue with saying both things can exist.
It's the duality of reality, right?
Right. Yeah, literally.
It's just like there's always going to be the shit and the greatness that will always combine. And like I always try to tell people, like when I watch these game showcase awards and stuff like that, I always say this. I'm like, look, I understand not every game is going to appease to you,
Mhm.
but this is showing out like games for everyone. You want to make
Right.
sure that you are broadcasting as a multi-billion trillion dollar company. Like this is what we offer you to play and be excited for and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's kind of like a good way to kind of like end this one here too. It's just like go check these games out if you haven't.
Mhm.
I know they're high up on my list. I gotta double check which ones I don't have downloaded and stuff like that. But also, if you can, give this gentleman a nice follow. His link
Oh,
is in
thank
the
you.
description of the YouTube video description. And if you haven't already, I will link it in the main chat as well, so you can go right to his YouTube channel and give this man a follow. Why don't you plug yourself while we got you here?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And also thank you for having me on. The channel is Nerd Takes. The link is in the chat. I do a lot of things. I cover movies, movie reviews, TV reviews, and by TV, realistically, mostly streaming. But who watches cable TV these days? But
Right.
regardless, if there is a good cable TV show, trust me, I'll review that as well. Streaming games, working on more game reviews. I've actually started doing some of that the past year because that was something I always wanted to do. I do like to try to complete games before I do reviews, and then that kind of throws off the window, I feel like sometimes, because it takes a while to complete a game, especially as a new dad with busy schedule.
Mhm.
But I am starting to do some kind of first impression reviews with games as well, just so I can get something out with the gaming stuff, because those three things really are my most passionate hobbies. I love TV, movies, and gaming. Music would be the other one, but I'm not doing music at the moment or anything with it. So that kind of stuff, if you enjoy listening to my obnoxious voice, feel free to drop us up.
Yes, please do. He's a great guy. I still remember like when I first met this guy, I was on top 5. It was comedy movies,
Yeah.
right?
Oh God, which one was it? We were
I think it was
doing-
comedy movies, right? It had
It
to
was
be
something
comedy.
with movies. Was it video game based movies? Maybe.
No, I wasn't on that one. I
Was
know
it
for a
okay?
fact. I
Might have
think it
been
was
comedy. Yeah, might have been then. Yep.
We brought up like the Def to Smoochie clip and everything else like that.
Yep.
That was a fun one. And then it's just like we've been friends ever since. And it's been good to
Mhm.
have you on, buddy. I really enjoy when I could catch your streams, especially when
I
you get
appreciate that.
nice little day off. And like I said, give this guy a follow. Very level-headed, very articulate with his points.
Thank you.
It's like it's you're gonna kind of get like a good breakdown of whatever topic he's covering, and just give the guy some support, man. He's a father, You got
I appreciate it. I do my best to be fair and level-headed. I'm not overreactionary. I'm not interested in excuse me. I'm not interested in, clickbait stuff like that. Try to bring a common guy, level-headed voice into the sea of voices online. So if you appreciate that, you might appreciate my stuff.
Indeed. And for me as well, if you guys haven't already, check out my channel. I posted an unboxing video of both the Yakuza 0 and Kiwami limited run games collector's editions if you're interested in seeing what comes with those, as well as yesterday me, IJP Mexican, sat down and we did a review cast of Pokemon Legends ZA that quickly devolved once we brought AJ in there because he has some gripes with it. But the first part, it's still fun nonetheless.
I did want to actually check that out. I saw it on my feed, so I do want to go back and check that out.
Well, if you can, I appreciate it. You can watch my soul leave my body at the end of it. But regardless, they were awesome for coming on. It was very fun. Hopefully, it's a first of a couple more that I have planned coming up in the future. So, but besides that, if you're wondering about everything else, tomorrow, happy Halloween in advance. We're going to be back again with another episode of Legacy Loading. And joining me is my guest, Mr. Transylvania Jack. And we're going to be watching the Doom documentary. So
cool.
So you're going to learn about Doom. And this is obviously everything prior to Doom 2016, obviously. So It's going to be fun to sit down and walk down memory lane to see all the great Doomness, especially because this was when Doom 3 came out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of goes with the perfect Halloween theme.
Yeah, I was just going to say, right on cue with the timing, too. Good theme, so that'll be fun. I'll be checking in on that for sure.
Yeah, so that's a nice Friday night one. So after you're done handing out candy to all the kids, that will be 8 o'clock Central Time. So hopefully, you know, we could get some little fun in there for that one. And then Saturday, we will be back for another episode of RNG Updates. When I'll be joined by our friend Mr. Cream NATO. We got some good stories and game trailers and video game pickups to show off for sure. So make sure you stop by to check that out. Been really enjoying that a lot too. It was fun kind of doing a solo show by myself, not gonna lie, but I'm not a big guy who likes to do solo stuff.
Yeah, if I'm not gaming, it's tough to do. I get that feeling. It's tough to do so. The gameplay and just talking to the game always helps kind of cover up those down points in solo shows. They're tough.
Yeah, I always think like it's for me. I don't like people who do like solo podcasts because I'm like, man, you said something stupid. Someone's got to push back on you, right? A little bit,
fair
right?
enough, right.
So like that's it for me. It's like I need someone to push back on me. So like I don't sound completely stupid all the time. But yeah, that's all that we got right now. Thank you for coming out tonight. If you can, please leave a like and a comment on this video. Small sacrifice to the algorithm gods. Help this channel grow. I don't know if I have hype points, but if you want to waste some of those, go ahead. Hype us up. You know, there you go. Hype both of us up. There you go. Waste those points.
Yeah.
Waste them on us.
If you don't mind, sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, once again, thank you for stopping by, Mr. Nerd Takes.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it was wonderful. So everyone, have yourself a wonderful night. I hope you have a great Halloween tomorrow. Even if you aren't watching my show, I hope you are having fun either giving kids candy or going trick-or-treating with your kids. And if not, if you are still trick-or-treating age, why the fuck are you watching this? I would say first off, but second off, go have fun. That's what it is. Because Halloween is still a fun time of year. And then we're already in turkey season. So people, enjoy it. Have a good